Good afternoon, everyone. I have no idea whether this thing was doing its thing or not. All sorts of interruptions. I think our laughter was probably getting in the way. Good afternoon. We are Speaker Insight, where we help speakers, authors, and coaches to build a portfolio business on your terms. And my name is Helena Holbrick.
And I'm Kelly.
And we actively have the wonderful Elliot Kay with us from Speaker Express. But more about him in a minute, because first thing I want to tell you, if you are new to us, we are the founders of the Facebook group, the Connection Hub. So Speaker Insight runs the Connection Hub. And really, the purpose of it is to bring the nearly 12,000 now speakers, authors, and coaches together with the people who provide the speaking opportunities, the professionals who help you get your book out there, the PR things that are happening in the world, really just connecting you to what you need to build a business on your terms that allows you to really go out and share your message. So we love to help you and support you to build your businesses, don't we?
We do. And every Tuesday at 1 o'clock, we go live. So either a live where we do a teach, we have a guest, something that's topical around speaking, writing, and coaching. Or every alternative week, as we've done for the last month, we have our Clarity and Connection networking sessions, where you get 6 people get chosen to basically network with 12,000 people. And if you go and watch them back in the topic section of the group of Connection Hub, they're only available in the Connection Hub. So if you're not in there, Helena will put the link in the comments for you to join.
I certainly will.
The place to be, right? So, but what we love is we know we've got a worldwide audience, and we'd love to know where you're watching from. We can see people watching at the moment, so give us a wave so those numbers go into faces and names, and tell us where you're watching from so we can connect with you and actually make more of a connection. That's all we're about. And today we are talking about a very hot, debatable, controversial topic, which we get a lot of questions about in the Connection Hub. And who else should we bring in to have that conversation than the very controversial person himself, Elliot Kay?
Yes, indeed. However, we're not going to let him go straight in there because we obviously always want to know. So we know we've got a few of you live here already. So get your fingers on the keyboards. We want to know, what is the buzz in your business? What's exciting? What's happening? What's just happened that you want to share and celebrate and point people at, so we get to know you a little bit more.
We'll kick you off while saying hello to Roberta from Glasgow. Good to see you. So our buzz is actually going back to that section that I said before, that this month we've launched our Clarity and Connection networking sessions as part of our feedback from the group, that people are saying, hey, how do we get to know the members better? How do we get involved? And we've run 2 of them so far. And the buzz is the fact that we are now fully booked for the whole year. So you might go, oh, how can I get involved in this? You can still get involved because we encourage all of the members to actually interact in these sessions. Somebody might be looking for you, so you need to listen in, or you might know somebody to refer. People are either asking for a question on how to get unstuck, or they're asking for a connection. Do you know somebody who? So you might be the person they're looking for. So go back and watch them live. The next one will be next Tuesday at 1 o'clock. So we want to make sure that you're actually networking with 12,000 people who are like-minded, like-valued. They understand you. They don't think you're 3 heads because you're an entrepreneur, right? You're like-minded people here. So that's our buzz that we've actually fully booked out. We will release some more dates, I'm sure, for next year, but unfortunately there are no spaces for 2021.
But keep a watch out, because you never know. Lives happen and things happen, and every now and then one little spot might just pop up for a second and then kind of come back down. So we'll keep you posted. Absolutely. Elliot, what's happening in your world? What's the buzz?
Nothing really. No, I'm only joking. What's happening in my world is I'm getting a buzz watching Kelly go through the Six Pack Revolution program, and I am very happy that she's really being challenged in every part of her being physically meant. That's the buzz right now. Besides that,
wait. Let me just quantify this. So Elliot and his wife did this last wave, and I saw amazing results, and was like, I'm old, I'm fat, I need to do something about my health. So I went, okay, I'm going to bite the bullet. So for the next 75 days, if I'm really grouchy, guys, please forgive me, because I'm not allowed any sugar, any salt, any caffeine, any starchy carbs, any anything. and I have to do exercise daily and 2 challenges a week, and I haven't exercised for 40 years. So it's much killing me.
I'm doing the next level.
I know.
Right now.
Which
So
which is just aspirational. Which is just aspirational. You know, sort of like I'm just sat here in awe of the two of you eating whatever I want and doing whatever I want. I'm quite happy. Thank you very much. It's great.
Okay, so Kelly, for the rest of this, we're just going to ignore Helena for the rest of this interview.
Well, you can't ignore me because I'm about to give you the opportunity to talk about yourself. So I know for a fact that any speaker can't actually resist this. So there may well be people out there who don't know who you are, Elliot. You've obviously been around with us. We've known you for a very long time. Well, hang on a minute. Oh, yeah. Oh, you see. Good God, you two. Right. Okay. Go on then. What's the buzz in your business?
So
and by the way, but hang on, before you do that, where are the rest of you? Come along now. Tell us what the buzz is. Like, type it in for us. If you're doing the hashtag replay, please put it in anyway, because we do like to know, and people do like to kind of get to know you a little bit more. And exactly as I just said, take any opportunity to share where you're at, because getting your name out there may just be the tiniest little thing you say that creates a connection that sometimes ends up creating a partnership like the one that we've got here. Who knows? So what's the buzz, Elliot?
Right. Let's start. So finally finished my new promo video, which I posted in Connection Hub yesterday. So that was a process in itself. You think, how hard can it be to create a 2.5 minute video? Very, is the answer, but we got there. The other buzz is last week I launched my 5th book called Stand Out as a Speaker and Be More Giraffe. So that is out. The week before that,
you might be doing this live in your giraffe onesie, like sometimes I have known you to do. I did expect you potentially.
That is true. Instead, I went for giraffe colors. But that's because,
I did actually notice that. I did actually nearly make a comment about that earlier.
Yeah, well, that's also because there's a thinking behind that. I do it to make a point at times, but I don't get known as the giraffe man because it's not about me being the giraffe man. And the week before that, we launched the Public Speaking Expert podcast, and that's already gone to global listenership around the world. And I guess that's kind of the buzz that's worth sharing right now. Don't do 2 launches in 2 weeks, people.
That's right. Doing a fitness program.
I have an idea for my 6th book already, by the way.
What we'll do is we'll put the link to the book. I know that I think it's Claudia that's saying, I'm watching Elliot, haven't finished the book yet. So we'll put the link up for people that want to access the book. But there are also, you're doing something special for people that are watching with the book at the moment, aren't you, Elliot?
Yeah, so whoever does decide to get a copy of the book, I've extended the bonuses that I offered to everybody when they bought the book, to everybody for Speaker Insight or Connection Hub that buys it. You can have access to the bonus. There's 10 bonuses, Speaker Insight, one of them, PR Media, blah, 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 blah. It's worth a lot of money. Get the bonuses, do it. And that's all for anyone that buys the book for $7.99. So as long as they buy the book through me, they will get the bonuses. But if you're not in the UK, I will say this. If you're not in the UK, buy on Amazon, send me proof, and I'll give you the bonuses.
Oh, nice. And the bonus you offered, Elliot, is relevant for what you're probably tuning in for, listening to today about learning about speaking to sell or speaking for paid speaking, because we give you a directory of 200 stages to speak on. That is what we've offered when you buy the book. So I'm just going to read out Roberta's book. I'm learning more about the blocks to metabolism functioning optimally to integrate. Oh, you've just moved. Integrate my well-being, energetic clearing work. God, it sounds like you're on the same journey as us, Roberta.
Yeah.
Julie's just launched her first live webinar on banishing public speaking anxiety. So you're definitely in the right place too. Nice.
Yeah, for sure. It's just how it is. So do keep kind of writing them in, like let us catch up on them, but let's actually kind of get into the controversy that might actually show up. And we really invite you to put your perspectives in, ask your questions. We like a little bit of interaction, and we know this is a juicy one because most of you have probably got this question going on in your head. So let's let you have some context. Some of you may have seen the Facebook Live that we did with Elliot. He very generously shared how to create a signature talk a little while back. When as Elliot's talking, I'll pop the link into that so that you can, if that's of interest to you. But tell us a little bit about yourself and Speaker Express, so that people just get the context of who you are and why we are doing this. And somebody's listening in Facebook land, not quite sure who it is yet.
I think they're a Connection Hub member because I can't see that comment in a Changemaker member. So yeah, it's good to see you.
Oh yeah, no worries.
Hello, anonymous person,
Great.
very mysterious. So yes,
Great.
so I have been involved in Speaker Express for over a decade now. It's been around for a while. Before that, it was called Pony Express Speakers Club. And what we do is we provide trainings for entrepreneurs and business owners to really use speaking as an expert on authority positioning, to sell their brand, their product, their services from the stage, and to be able to do that in a way that's authentic to their brand, that's real to them, and serves their audience, their market and community in the way that they want to, versus any cookie cutter solution. Our key focuses is 3 key areas: language, impact, and structure. A lot of people know me as the structure guy because I always talk about having a structure when you speak and things like that. And when I do my clubhouse room, I'm always about structure. And my 4th book, first surprisingly, Speak, Influence, Sell, is all about structures. So there we go, for speaking, for dealing with confidence. So maybe there's something to it. Maybe I'm not the giraffe guy, I'm the structure guy. I myself has got almost 10,000 hours of delivering talk globally, virtually, and offline. And I have written 5 books, as you guys know. Work with thousands of entrepreneurs now. You know, Kelly, Helena, and I have been on some of the trainings together. We've, crossed paths, lost paths, reformed paths. Previous to that, I ran strategy company, again, working indirectly with Kelly's old boss, where I help businesses and entrepreneurs to build 6-figure businesses strategically, really focuses on coaches, trainers, consultants, and authors. And before that, I was known as the coach with the hat, and I ran a coaching business. I ran a seminar called Power to Succeed, which was huge as well. I did the whole free 2 days, and then people worked with me for a year. So that's a little bit about me. I live in Devon. I have 2 beautiful kids. I go running along the cliffs. I haven't fallen off yet, maybe sometimes to my wife's frustration. But I'm still here. I'm still standing. And unlike Kelly, I am loving level 2 of the 6-pack revolution, as painful as it is.
So for people that are watching, because I know, that's why you're one of our partners, because we wanted to make sure that we partner with somebody who actually does speaker training for people. But tell us a little bit about the audience of who comes to Speaker Express. What do they want? What are their needs? And what do you really help them with? I know obviously structure is one of the things, but what impacts them?
What gave you that idea? So really we work with, a lot of the members in the Connection Hub are our ideal clients: coaches, change makers, healers, authors. We work a lot with entrepreneurs. We've expanded into creative agencies who do like food packaging, and they're all in the creative space as well. What we really help them is when they stand on stage is to sell their authority as well as their product. So it's not just about, by the way, Kelly, this is really good for the 6-pack revolution. It's not just about, buy this bottle, here's why, and here's the benefits, and here's the features, right? It's more like, why are you the authority to stand on stage and have that credibility, and how you position that in a way that's in line with your brand, your product, to enroll people to want to buy from you versus selling, which is a very different mindset.
Yeah.
That's who we really work with. We work with, I've worked with recruitment companies. I work with people pitching for investment, because also one of my strengths is language as much as storytelling, and my ability to distill that is really one of my greatest strengths, because I'm able to take someone's presentation and use the language that's most appropriate for who they want to attract.
Yeah.
And that's one of my, as I've been called, geniuses. And I love doing it.
Important, right? Because, the people that are watching this live today, there are going to be people who, and this is what the debate is, professional speakers who get paid to speak, and then public speakers who speak to sell a product, or speak for lead generation, or speak for exposure, so those types of things, or speak to pitch. So there's one with an agenda of a follow-up, and one which is a pure transactional financial, this is what I get paid for the 45 minutes, and that's what it is. So what I would like to delve into, first of all, because we're going to have people that are in both of those camps
for sure,
is let's go with the money. Let's go with the paid speaking, because actually that's where most people initially think that's how the speaking industry works. And they go, okay, how do I you know, and I can speak from experience of owning my own speaker agency here, that the speakers that we take on board as our stellar speakers typically will charge between £5,000 to £40,000 a keynote for half an hour. So I want you, Elliot, to talk a little bit about what the people that you train as a speaker trainer, what do you find that those people need in order to get the paid speaking gigs, which they might not need in order to do public speaking? And what other benefits are there other than just the money? What other benefits are there to doing professional paid speaking gigs?
So what people need to get that kind of paid speaking opportunities, you and I will know, and I'm sure you train a lot about this, is the packaging. It's all about the packaging. And I think what happens is a lot of people go into entitlement. Oh, I've done this, I should be paid. Okay, maybe you should, maybe you shouldn't. And this is not my place to tell if you should or shouldn't, or if you ask me, I'll probably tell you. It's all about the packaging, right? So you've got to have, number one, the content that's relevant to the bookers who would pay you that money. Number two, you've got to have the ability to deliver at a level that you're chargeable. So if you're charging $5,000, you need to bring 25 grand to the table worth of value, impact, and delivery, right? Yeah. That's kind of how it works in most cases, if not more. So as well as relevancy, your content, and your ability to deliver impact, people now want experts that speak more than ever, because people had 18 months of speakers, right? They want to know that what you're bringing to the table is going to make, and here's the key word, a significant difference to the audience. It's no longer gone to the days like, hey, I'm a speaker. How much? 5,000. Great. Come. Oh, they're so inspired. Yay. Yeah. Right. They want,
And then nothing happens. They just have a good time and they're motivational and great.
Yeah, exactly. People, bookers want more. The person that's paying them to get booked want to know that you're going to have a significant impact that is implementable, is the other word. Sure, you might get pulled in for motivational, inspirational stuff, but these days, even then, it's got to be stuff that they can apply to their bottom line. So unless you can package that up at the front end, you're going to struggle with the back end. So unless your positioning piece, right, your connection statement sells us that, right, tells us, the booker, the person that's there, why I should think, even consider you amongst all the other speakers that are charging 5 to 40 grand,
for sure,
then you're out of the running, full stop. That's just, you haven't made the minimum.
Yeah.
Then you have to stand out, be more giraffe once you're in the running. Then that comes down to your collateral, comes down to your assets, your videos, your bio, right? Your images, all that kind of stuff, the content and the rest. That's kind of like next stage stuff. And I feel what happens is a lot of people come from this, well, I should get paid to speak. Okay, I get you're an expert now, but if you're not packaging yourself in the right way, you're not going to be considered the go-to person to get booked. And that's just the reality.
I think the additional thing, I completely agree, because there are different assets that you need. There are different level of proof of results that you need to be a professional paid speaker than you do to be a public speaker. Purely because the person's investing in you, and therefore they need the ROI. When someone's putting you on stage, it's a reputational thing. But actually, if you bomb and you don't sell anything, then it's you that's paying the cost of that. So there's not so much in it for them. The thing that I want to highlight to people, and this is why we partner with a speaker trainer, is that professional speaking, paid professional speaking, is an art.
It is.
And you need speaker training to understand everything from tonality, body language, stage presence, all this type of stuff, storytelling, etc. That is something that most people are not born with, and it still needs to be refined, because it's like driving. I probably wouldn't pass my driving test today because I've got so many bad habits that I do, right? Yeah. But it's that fact of always being pulled up. Have you got sloppy on this? Have you reinvented your speech and your style again every year, so you're not just the same one-trick pony doing the circuit? And I think that's really important, that people don't realize that they need to invest in their own skill as a speaker in order to earn the right to be paid for it.
Yeah.
And I was having a conversation, I think it was yesterday, in our membership group Changemaker, where someone asked, well, actually, as a speaker who's also a trainer, why do most speakers charge more for a keynote than they do for a 2 to 4 hour workshop? And I said, the reason why is because to get your information into a half an hour, 45-minute keynote and still make that impact, still have that ROI, still be motivational storytelling is an absolute skill. You've just got your promo video down to 2.5 minutes and it killed you. Think about getting your content down to 30 minutes to make the impact. It's really an art and a skill to do, rather than a 2 to 4 hour workshop. You've got much more leeway, you've got interaction, you've got all of this. And so actually, there's not so much of an art to do that, which is why they're normally priced more for a keynote and less for a workshop. So I just want to put that out there, but also to highlight that you need speaker training to earn the right to say that I have the art and the craft of speaking.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. And the other thing, just to add to that, is a lot of speakers get to a place and they just plateau. They just get comfortable. And then you and I know how quickly they're replaceable, you know. And that's the difference between world class and those who are truly ambitious to be a paid speaker. It's a never-ending journey. Those who get comfortable and go, okay, cool, and they go, they show up, they deliver, but they will turn sour very quickly. What you were saying there reminds me of, I can't remember is it Van Gogh or one of those in the cafe? Do you know that story?
The what?
And someone will, is it Van Gogh, Helena? Is it
I think it is. If it's, well, I'm nodding because I'm making an assumption that I know what you're about to say. So say it, and then I'll double check it. But I think I think it is.
It relates to what you're saying. So someone walked up to Van Gogh in a cafe. Oh my God, you're Van Gogh. Can you draw me something? And so he grabs a serviette and he draws that person something, and then he hands it to him. Goes, right, that's £20,000, please. And then the guy goes, but it took you 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And he went, yes, but I've been working on that for 20 years.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, right? So to get to that point where you can charge, and you've taken your expertise, which you accumulated over years, and then you're putting that into 30 minutes, that's what you're being charged. You know, you're not getting you're not getting paid for the time, you're getting paid for the expertise.
It's like the 10,000 hours syndrome, right?
For sure. But also that updated, you know, someone who's staying on trend and actually kind of working through with it. So there's a flip side. So some of you, hang on.
Sorry. Well, you can read this in a second.
I will.
Thing in. But I just want to really highlight as well that as a booker, you will require assets that a public speaker probably doesn't need. So, you know, I don't think there's ever been a live we've done about speaking that I haven't harped on about the essential need for you to have a show reel, which is why Elliot now has a new promo reel as well as a show reel, which is good.
Yeah.
So go and look at his in the hub if you didn't see that posted this week, and also our show reel spotlight hashtag where you can see other people's.
Yeah.
But things like professional bios, professional headshots, your show reels, your keynote titles, your proof testimonials, your ROI, all of those types of things are essential to get continuous work as a paid speaker. And it's not as essential, and we'll talk about this now, as a public speaker. It's still great to have because you'll stand out like and be more giraffe. But it's a no-brainer for me. I wouldn't even look at you as a booker if you didn't have those assets.
And maybe what I'll do is I'll go and dig out the how to create a show reel, you know, sort of like just so that, because we've done a training on that as well. But here's the thing. Haley's just actually saying, and in recognition, and I love that you're saying this, you know, Haley's just saying, I do really want to learn how to get paid to speak, especially as I work towards the long-term goals of EMD or emotion mind dynamic that is her IP. So, you know, so it's absolutely a way that you can share the expertise that you have and the IP that you've got, for sure, right? But I love that you're saying and recognizing that it is a transition. And so let's flip to the other side, which is the speak to sell, and ask the same kind of questions around well, you know, sort of, and it's one leads into the other, and it's a choice. It is absolutely a choice around building that business around your terms, you know, sort of like, because what you want to be doing is you know, really crafting. Do you want to be putting that effort and craft into honing yourself as a speaker ongoing, or are you actually you know, sort of working towards something different within your business vision, within the vision that you have for yourself, in which case you might actually be speaking to sell in order to reach many more people. So Elliot, kind of the same question. if you're doing speaking to sell and you want to sell your products as a result of speaking, which is what we're talking about, what assets, what experience, what do people need in order to get started and in order to keep going?
So when you're speaking to, first of all, I want to qualify this. I think everyone needs to understand the moment you stand on stage, you're speaking, whether you're paid or not, you're selling.
For sure.
You're selling, right? Let's not pretend it's a separate section of your talk.
No.
The moment your heels go, you're selling. You've walked on stage, virtual or not. Now, the difference between when you're paid, obviously you deliver a keynote, that's a different structure, different delivery mechanism, etc. When you're speaking to sell, what you need to do is use a structure that beautifully leads the audience to want to buy from you. Therefore, the language you use is slightly different. The stories you use are different, right? The content you use is different. So while in a keynote, you might give away the how because you're already getting paid the £40,000 or £5,000 because that's part of what they're paying for. But when you're speaking to sell, you focus on the what. You know, what's missing, what needs to be done. And the idea is, in a non-manipulative way, is to highlight the gap that's missing in that person's life by hearing you speak, therefore choose you to fill the gap. So what assets would I say you need? Definitely you need lots of giveaways when you're doing speaking to sell, because that helps not, you know, obviously in various ways to capture the audience, but also it warms people up. People like gifts. Oh, take this. It's no, get this. You know, the other thing, of course, is
you mean like data collection. So not just giving them away, but in exchange so that you're getting it into your database. You might be using something like Text Local where you ask them to type a message into this text number and then they go straight into your CRM, or you might put a lead page URL up, whatever, but some form of data collection, right?
But a gift
and I also, it's a gift of value. And I like that you said lots of giveaways. That's not lots to give away in one, but a variety of them, so that you, when you're speaking to the different audiences that you have, you can pick and choose which of those lots you've got. That's what you meant, right?
Exactly. I mean, you know, when I do live events, sometimes I'll give away my books, you know, because they help circle people around, and people always want free gifts, and hopefully someone actually read the books. Right. Yeah. So you need assets to give away. You know, back to the point you made, Kelly, to get booked to speak to sell, you don't necessarily need a show reel. You do need a strong bio, though. You do need a strong product, or you need to be able to sell. Otherwise, it's going to be a waste. You'll get frustrated because it will waste your time. So those are some of the key things. The story you use.
Story is so key, right?
and what I'm hearing there, really, what I'm also hearing there is that, you know, because I really heard, and sometimes it's a throwaway thing. It isn't just about public speaking, isn't just about getting up there and making your offer. There is still some training that you need to do to be able to do that little bit of selling. So it's not a throwaway thing. So I just want to slow it down enough to go, both require training. They may well be slightly different. And I will just read out Satwinder's comment in when it's appropriate. So finish what you're saying, and then we'll ask the question.
You know, and a lot of it does go back to what is your intention of speaking, right? If your intention is just to go on stage and you want people to clap you, great. You don't need to worry about any of this. Well, you still need to be able to deliver a really good talk to get claps. People are very picky with their clapping, right? But most people will do it to raise their profile, to sell their product, for expert positioning, especially growth hub, insight audience, right? That's really what they would use speaking for. And you need to be able to do it in a way, of course, it's authentic, that adds massive value. And that's the other thing, of course, when you're speaking to sell, the audience, you know, you can't do what you did 5 years ago, which is just a pitch. People switch off from that now. They've wised up to that. You need to add massive value. And as I say, if you do it right, people will buy from you versus you having to sell to them. So have those giveaways. The stories you tell are essential. The success stories you use are essential. And the content you use focuses on the what, not the how. Versus a keynote where you can go straight in. You don't need to necessarily add huge value. Of course you do, but not in the same way. And you can give away the how straight away because you're getting paid for that.
Yeah, and so a similar question has just come in around that. So there are some distinctions. So Satwinder's saying, I'm really looking to get on speaking gigs, but I appreciate that to build my credibility, I need to do this on a voluntary basis first. Is it advisable to do free public speaking first to build that brand acceptability? And then I'm going to throw in the next question, which I think is from one of the change makers. I'm just trying to figure out. Yes, Susanna's saying, thanks for this training. How do we know which one is ideal for us? For example, in my situation, would I be getting paid to speak and then talk or talk to then sell, or can we do both? Which I think are both similar questions. So throwing those back into your court.
Can you remind me the first question, because my mind's on the second question?
Yes, of course. So is it advisable to do free public speaking first to build the brand acceptability in order to then get the pay?
To begin with, look, don't be scared to ask the question from the word go. Is there a budget, right? Don't get used to asking that. But is there a speaker budget? And then see what they say. But what I would say is to begin with, do the low-hanging fruit things, build up your experience, build up your credibility, use it to build up your show reel, right? To build up your assets. So then when you are going to approach someone like Kelly, who's completely ruthless with her selection process, and rightly so, but all bookers are, that's the thing, rightly so, that you have everything ready, because all you'll get is a circle back going, you don't have this, this, and this, come back when you do. Or they might just not even go, come back when you do. They go, you don't have this, we can't take you up. That's it.
Yeah.
So
yes, that's why we advise so many people to do free speaking gigs when they probably want to be a paid speaker later on, but they might need some evidence, because I want to highlight to a lot of people that paid speaking gigs are predominantly with corporates, right? You might get some expos and people like that might pay you a smaller fee, a couple of grand maybe for a keynote or something like that if you're not well known. But most of the paid speaking gigs are in corporations. We know, we heard in this conversation with Susanna yesterday in our Changemaker Central that on average a school will pay £600 below, a university will pay between 600 and 1,000. So when you want much more money, it's corporates. And so when you're in corporate land, most of the contracts, which is not something we're covering today, but it's an important thing, you cannot take a lot of the footage to use in a show reel from corporate AGMs because it's confidential, right? So therefore, even paid speakers might go and do some charity work or whatever, or some stages to update their show reel with their new messaging, their new whatever it might be that's coming through. And so even paid professional speakers still do some gigs. Most of my speakers will have 5 gigs that they allow me to book a year, which are a charitable basis. It's their way of giving back. And sometimes that's a great exposure for us to get more footage and new footage for them. So think about, as what you said about show reels, is it's really important to look at it from that perspective, but also to test your material. Think like you're a comedian. Comedians go and do a whole circuit. I remember seeing Michael McIntyre and people like this, and you go to really intimate gigs to test the material and actually get feedback, actually stop, and he gets his notepad out and he goes, that didn't work, I'm not going to say that one again. But this is another time to test the material, as long as our audience is the same avatar as who you're going to work with. Otherwise, you're not going to get the right feedback. So yeah, I just want to interject, as I always do, Elliot, on your stuff.
Of course. And sort of there's much appreciation for it out in Facebook land. So Heather's really enjoying, and Susanna's saying thank you. So good distinctions.
And I think the other thing about, do you want to cover what Susanna was saying about doing both, Elliot?
Yeah, exactly.
Listen, I think the modern speaker has to do both as well, because generally speaking, yes, there's a lot of budgets. The world is opening up again. But I think unless you're all you do is a speaker, and there are people out there that all they do is speak, all they do is speak,
sure.
all they do is speak, you're going to really struggle, because the speaking opportunities are being far few between, unless you achieve something massive or you're well known in your niche. I mean, some interesting numbers by the London Bureau for Public Speakers, or for speakers, can't remember the exact name. Basically, out of 4,800 speakers on their books, only 45 people in the last 2 years have got all the work and haven't dropped, and in fact made more money. So that will give you the idea of how many bookings you're likely to get. Now, that doesn't mean you can't carve out that space for you, but while you're carving out, you need to do both. Therefore, your skill set needs to be adaptable to show up to an incredible keynote that you can charge 5, 10, 20, 30, 40 million pounds for. Million? Anyway, where's my mind going? You know what I'm saying? That is one hell of a keynote if you can charge that amount of money. I don't know anyone besides, Prince Harry and people like that can charge $1 million. But we'll talk about that later. Donald Trump and people like that. You need to be able to show up and do an amazing keynote, but then supplement that with speaking to sell. And you'll be surprised that it's just a few tweaks that will allow you to make the transference to both. And don't be afraid of it, because here's the thing, even if you get a paid keynote, doesn't mean you might not get booked as a consultant or a trainer. So even professional speakers, top of their game, 25,000, 40,000 pounds a keynote, they still get booked for retainers. They still get booked for consultancies. Is someone telling something really bad about me?
It's working on that level of payment.
Exactly. So Gav's just loving that a little bit. Satwinder, I've got your question. Don't worry, I'll squeeze it in a little while.
Love that question, because I actually want to challenge Elliot, because we have this relationship.
Yeah, it's sparring.
I agree to a level that professional speakers should do both. However, if you're a paid speaker paying 20k a keynote, and then you go and do exactly the same keynote for free,
yep,
this is where you piss your right. So this is what I'm saying. Some people just think
no.
So it's really quantifying what you do for free. And as I said to you before, it might be the charity gigs that you're giving back because they are organizations or missions that you really want to serve, and you have that as your tithing side of things. Or it's more, you're not giving away the how, like Elliot said.
No, you're not. Exactly.
You're doing it more for raising awareness of your brand, your mission, what you want to be known for. You're doing it more for credibility and reputation more than the results. So please do not do the same keynote, because
no.
charge that when you gave it away to somebody else for nothing.
Yeah,
no. So that's what I mean.
It has to have a pure context. It has to have a good and a, when I say good, I mean like exceedingly good reason if you are actually going to be doing that. And that comes back to what Elliot was saying earlier on, and what Kelly and I really work very hard to kind of make sure people have, is that portfolio business that actually it's the packages that sit alongside it, and how you package up the rest of your expertise that you can offer when you are speaking to sell, and indeed as a paid speaker. But again, they work slightly differently. So whilst we're saying that you can do both, there is also a pure choice available to you around which of the directions you're going to go in, because you're going to structure, and all three of us love structure, you're going to structure your businesses slightly differently. And that's one of the things that Kelly and I do with everyone inside the Changemaker Central membership, because we really do take a look at how do you want the business to support you, and how does speaking fit into that? Is it paid? Is it professional? Is it sell, speaking to sell, etc.?
It's the portfolio style business that we harp on about all the time.
Yeah.
So let's get back to Satwinder's question, shall we?
Exactly. So how much credibility does being an author with an Amazon best-selling book give you when you do your speaker bio? Does this slightly reduce the need to promote yourself with more things like show reels, etc.?
In the
That's it, Satwinder. You're on your own.
No. So in America, for those of you who want to branch out, America, Canada, books are really important to them. It's really like, if you haven't written a book, you're not really an expert. What I would do is I wouldn't necessarily use Amazon, because again, those in the know how you get to an Amazon bestseller. And let's be honest about it, let's not pretend. So unless you genuinely really just sold thousands and thousands on the back of your own launch, well done. But generally, most people are right. I would just say bestseller, number one.
Yeah. If you are a New York Times or a Sunday Times bestseller, please state that, because that is like kudos to you, right? The amount you have to sell for that is not the same as Amazon. But it's only people in our industry, right, Elliot, that understand the tricks of how to get an Amazon bestseller. To most people, writing a book is an achievement in itself, let alone get it to a bestseller standard. So I agree, put bestseller, but don't put Amazon bestseller.
Yeah. And that's what I would suggest. Look, does it help open doors? It does, in the sense that you use it. I post it to people, say, look, here's my book. Let's have a conversation. When you start to connect with people on LinkedIn, like, for example, I've connected with people abroad. I'm like, let me send you my book. Let's discuss speaking for you. And so here's my book first. So in that respect, it helps opens doors. It's a really good thing to have on your CV, but in my experience, it isn't necessarily the deciding factor that will get you booked.
No, and it won't substitute a show reel. If you're looking for paid bids, then nothing's going to substitute the assets that you need. The other thing which I have a lot of my speakers do is, especially, whether they've hybrid published or traditionally published, is actually when they get the corporate gig, they actually have another 10% or so added onto their fee, because they basically will send copies of the books out to everybody at that AGM or whatever it might be. But also your publisher should also be able to change the first insert so the forward can be written from the CEO of that company. And this could be branded. The logo could be on the front cover of the book when they're doing print runs. So these are things to actually think about how you can add more value and stand out more as a speaker, because it's not just the keynote you're going to give delivery. There's a book that follows for the team that were there.
Yeah.
Here's a clever strategy. Sorry, Helena, do you want to?
No. Get in there. We love a clever strategy. I'm never going to stop you doing that. And I'll ask the question in a second.
And he does really well. He doesn't charge a fee. He just charges for the books. So I'll go, how many people in the audience? 1,000. Yeah, great. Well, 1,000 books will cost you X. I won't, that's the fee. He then shows up, has a book for every single person in the audience, and then he does his keynote. Now, what happens is people go home and read the book because they're so inspired by the keynote that they circle back anyway to want to work with him as a consultant, often on a retainer level, because what he's done is going, I'm not charging a fee, just pay for the books, because he'll know he'll get the money.
Perfect. So that would be what I would say is a free gig for a professional speaker, because it's lead gen without lead gen, and they're still getting some money for doing it.
Exactly.
I'm going to read out this.
Gabs. It's Gabs.
Can I just use my podcast and online panel talk for my show reel? I'm going to go. Yeah, I'm agree with Elliot. Right? We put the link in there, Gabs, about the show reel, so you can hear me rant about this twice. The short version is, for a speaker booker to book you to speak on a stage, I just want to hear your ability and see your form and your body language, your tonality, your voice projection, your content of you on stage. Being interviewed like this or on a podcast is a different skill. It's still using speaking, but it's not the same skills and art as speaking on a stage. And this is why your show reel should need to include the different audience sizes you've spoken to, because speaking in a boardroom of 12 people is different to speaking on a concert stage to 12,000. And if you've got the ability to do both, you need to have evidence in your show reel so the person basically feels, oh, okay, they've spoken on a stage of 500 before. I'm confident I can see that in their show reel. So it's a nice thing to include in your bio, because it shows the diversity of what you're actually doing around the topic. But those things should stay out of a speaker bio. They are, however, great to include in a showcase bio, which might be on your website if you're a coach or you're a therapist and you want to show people about how you work as well as your speaking in a bit of a blend. Showcases and show reels are completely different. So again, watch that training.
Yeah.
The only exception I can think of, and I know of, is if you have a ginormous following. So if by your podcast, let's say, has 1 million plus downloads a day, that gives you immediate kudos. You can say, look, if I put one advert out that I'm speaking at this event, that's the only kind of exception to the rule, is when you have a massive following.
But what you could do is just put the logo of your podcast in and say how many followers you have, rather than actually take some clipping of it, because when you learn about the speaker show reel, that's the credibility piece.
Yeah.
So, whatever, whether it's podcast, whether it's Facebook, whether it's your email database, whether it's awards you've won, these are all things that should be, flashed up on the screen as accolades. As credibility pieces, but they don't give the booker the confidence that you could speak on stage.
So I want to take it into, so we've obviously got the distinction between a paid speaker, a paid professional speaker, and those who are choosing to speak to sell. We've got the transitional journey that actually goes in there. What I definitely heard you say in terms of the training that you do for people is that there is a there is a process. There are things that need to be covered, and there is a distinction between giving the how and giving the what. So can you, in the shortest amount of time possible, give people a little taste of what are the components, those key components that need to be in, the keynotes that they are doing, whether they're wearing this hat or that hat? Are they the same? Are they different?
In a keynote, yeah, very good. So a keynote, for example, you've got your core message that's going to repeat, right? So you got your message you're going to lead with, then you got a story that backs up the messaging, and then you circle back to, then you got your lesson, and then the message, and then story, lesson, message. That tends to be the kind of keynote. So, great example, if anyone wants to see a great example of it, is the keynote by the general in America, the make your bed first. Perfect example of a great keynote of that structure. Simple, impactful, and very well layered, right? So anyone check that out as an example. When you're speaking to sell, it's different. You need to have a captivated opening, which you do with a keynote too. Strong opening, very quickly demonstrate you get your audience's problem. Then you have to demonstrate why you're the person to listen to. Then you have to show me how you're going to solve my problem. But you're focusing on that's the only way you show the how, because you're showing me the solution. But more than that, nothing. Then I want to know some stories about that you get the problem and you got the solution and you're the one to deliver it. There's 5 stories you must be able to tell when you're speaking to sell. And then there's, of course, your content. Your content focuses on the what, not the how. It's designed to drive down and extend and magnify the gap that you're filling, and then a strong call to action at the end, which is to buy from you. If you do each layer right, the call to action in the end is just the icing on the cake. You've been selling the whole time. It's not suddenly this weird, clunky, stiff section that, oh my God, I'm selling. No, you've been selling. And that's the key distinction. How's that for a quick, short, concise answer?
Nice.
That was amazing. That was incredible. Well done.
Go into more depth around that in the Signature Talk Facebook Live that you did with us a year or so ago, which we've got in the comments here. So scroll up, guys, that have just joined us to go and read that.
Did you see? Yeah.
So I'll put this in the link as well.
I've got the link ready for you, just so that you can answer the questions. So Zatwinder's saying, Kelly, I've joined the Stellar Speakers Program for £59 membership. I'm looking for more voluntary opportunities, but don't know where or how to start. So
the best is a great welcome to have you there. I do remember seeing you in there, so it's great to have you there. The thing to think about is, first of all, we use both these groups. We use the Connection Hub and use Rising Stars. In Rising Stars, go to the Opportunities tab, and probably every other day we put in speaking opportunities in there. Some free, some paid, and it's your job to go and apply for them. So we always have the application links in there or who to contact. Have a look and see which ones are relevant for your topics. It's great because most gigs now are hybrid, so don't be put off if some of them are worldwide, because you can still do that from your living room. And then obviously over in the Connection Hub, go and search for the topic #opportunity, because in the Connection Hub, I think we've got over 5,000 opportunities for PR, speaking gigs, podcast guests, whatever it might be. So it is an art to be looking at, and obviously with the freebie that we gave for Elliot's book, that gives you 200 stages to speak on. And that's a similar direction to that window that's in the Rising Stars on the speaker stages to look at. You have to go through and look and see which are the stages that will be good for me to do some of these free promo speaking. And in the guide in the Rising Stars, we tell you how to prospect the bookers. We take you through that process of how do you pick up the phone, what do you say, what assets do you need to have ready to send them. So make sure you look at all of those aspects in Rising Stars, and use the Connection Hub, and use the free download that you're going to get if you get Elliot's book in there too. I know that we haven't got much time, but I do want to ask this question, because this is one of the controversial bits, right? Yes, we get this all the time in the Connection Hub, where we don't allow this opportunity post. So any opportunity posts in the hubs are all free. You don't have to pay to.
Yeah.
However, we get questions of speakers going, I've just been asked from a speaker booker or an organization or an event to pay £1,000 or whatever it is to come and speak at this event. I'm the speaker. I should be getting paid. Why am I speaking to pay? So, Elliot, give us your lowdown on whether you agree, what the concept is behind speakers paying to speak. Give us your thoughts.
Okay, so here's the thing. People have to understand, yes, you're the speaker, well done, but you got to understand that people putting on events are taking on the risk. And what's happened over the last few years, because a lot of speakers are great speakers and terrible at sales, it means the event organizers have ended up losing out or don't make the money that they need to make. So what they have done, they said, look, you say you're a great speaker, you say you can sell, put your money where your mouth is. That's what they're doing in essence. They're going, great, no problem, love to, you can sell, good. All I'm saying is pay me up front, and it depends on the deal that the event is doing. Most places you pay and you keep what you make. Other places you pay and they take a chunk. I have nothing against paying to speak. I think that's an acceptable model. Expert or not, I've paid to speak in the past, because sometimes paying to speak, to get on stage next to certain individuals or in front of an audience, which will cost me 10 times to market to, I'm happy to pay the £2,000-3,000 because it'll cost me double that in Facebook ads. It cost me a lot more than that. So I don't have anything against that. If you understand that it's a marketing cost, not an insult cost, they're not insulting you. They're just going, I'm taking the risk, I'm putting on the event, I want you to put your money where your mouth is. As long as you know that you can sell and you know your numbers, I'm not against it at all. I've done speaking gigs where I've charged speakers, right?
Yeah.
Do it, because what they are putting in front of you would cost you a lot more to market to. The opportunities it could open will cost you a lot more. I am for it. I know people don't like it. Fine. I'm all for it.
And what I will say is it still comes down to that training that actively, knowing your numbers, knowing that you can convert, knowing that you're doing that, absolutely comes down to the training that you actively have as well, because that puts you in a position where you can, with confidence, absolutely go, this is part of my marketing budget.
Right.
One more thing I want to add, because it's a business model. All of these things are business models. Professional speaking is a business model. Speaking to sell is a business model. Paying to speak is a business model. So there's no right or wrong. It's what works for you. If you're paying to speak, 100%, this is what we say about doing expos or any of those types of things. You've got to know that your follow-up process, your conversion works before you do it. And then once it's proven and tested, now let's go and get it out there. So the same from your speaking. Don't go and pay before you even know that you can convert from stage, right? That's the first thing. So we did. Second thing is know the audience.
Yes.
Right. So if you're paying to speak at an event, you have the right to interrogate the booker. What was last year's event? Who's the demographic? What were the average sales ratios from the people that are on stage? All the information about the avatar. So you can make the decision that not just your ability to sell, but the people in the room are the right people to buy your stuff. Right.
For sure.
So that's really important. You do that research beforehand.
Yeah.
And then you have got the other people where people are not so much a business model, but it's going to elevate their credibility, elevate their reputation to say, I was on stage with Les Brown, I was on stage with Richard Branson, I was blah, blah, blah. And you have all those pictures and you milk the hell out of it when you do those gigs, but you use it in your marketing going forward. But if this is part of your business model, you need to have this as a marketing budget, right? So if you're going to pay £5,000 to do an expo, to speak on stage, you need to have all the background, but it needs to go in your marketing budget because it's just the same as advertising.
That's it. And a much easier way of doing it. So, yeah, I was going to say, as you can hear, we're quite passionate about this all together, right? And we're passionate about the choice that you need to make around the business model that you have and where speaking fits in for you now and where speaking will fit in for you later on. Because you're allowed to shift and change it. Sort of like we all shift and change. When Kelly and I talk about building a business on your terms, some of you will know this, some of you don't. We're talking about you using your time, your energy, your resources, your money, and your skills in a way that supports and satisfies you in creating a sustainable, profitable business. And speaking fits in somewhere in that business because you are a change maker, you are a message giver, you want to shift the world into a higher place in some way, shape, or form through your expertise. So we're hoping that we've given you some food for thought around, am I using speaking in the right way for me right now? What do I need to put in or add or take away from or focus on in order to actively do the speaking that I do? So Elliot, I'm going to come right back to you because in the shortest amount of time possible. I'm pretty certain lots of people will want to be in touch with you. So what's the best way to do that? We've obviously popped your book link in there, but if they want to be in touch with you.
Yeah, so here's what I'll say. Anyone that buys the book, I'm happy to offer a 30-minute consultation with to discuss what's right for them. So when you buy the book, just email me, just saying Speaker Insight in the title, and we'll get in touch with you. I'm more than happy to do that. And anyone on replay for the next couple of weeks, I don't know. But anyway, for whoever watches this, and anyone abroad who wants to buy the book, if you just get it on Amazon, send me proof, then I'll give you the bonuses as well. And of course,
Amazing.
I'll get a consultation call with you. Best way to do it is use the hello@speakerexpress.co.uk email, hello@speakerexpress.co.uk email. If you use that, either myself or the team will pick it up. I see them all, the team see them, so don't say anything too personal if you don't want me to, or the other people to read it. Just send Speaker Insight, we'll send you the link and get you booked in, and we'll go from there. However I can support you, whether you work with me or not, I'll definitely give you the best insight I can possibly do. And we'll go from there, because I'd love to support you all to get out there and be more giraffe, but more than anything, be the go-to expert.
And
fantastic.
I've just put the Speaker Express website in there because there are lots of training and events and masterclasses and things that you run within that program. But do you also want to tell them a little bit about the assessment quiz that you've got?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, absolutely. So what we've done is we created a how influential you are as a speaker quiz, and it assesses 6 key areas: your confidence, your brand message, does it land, your signature talk. It looks at how likely you are to get booked. It also looks at your ability to sell, as well as how good your profile is. It gives you a specific personalized score, but you also get like an 18-page report full of tips and advice and structures of how to improve various aspects of your speaking to sell. I just want to be clear. It's really about speaking to sell that particular stuff. It's not about keynote speaking. So for those of you on keynote, that you won't get that from that. So if you do that, you'll also get a few emails from me. So just reply to those and let me know if you want to book in a chat with me, and we'll go from there.
And like with all of that, oh, Sebastian, hello, good morning. Well, good afternoon, good evening, really. I think evening is right where it is. He's going to watch the replay. He's just coming in and just wishing us a great day, which is really quite lovely. Now, if you are at the stage where you go, great, I know exactly what to do, that's absolutely perfect, that's great. If you're a little bit confused about the direction you're going in, or if you've suddenly been thrown by Kelly and I talking about, is your business model right, then seriously, the best thing you can do is just hop on a call, get unstuck call, and let me help you sort it out, sort of in your head. And we'll just take 15 minutes. Trust me, 15-minute fix is a very, very fun thing to do. And they're free. They are free indeed. So I love kind of fixing a little kind of unstuckness that's in there. So let me help you book one in, and let's see what we can do for you. Because it might just be that you're at that point of transition. So you go, where do I focus? Sometimes sounding it out with somebody else is just the best thing in the world to do. So let us all know what you've taken away from this. Whether you're on the hashtag replay, we want pop that in here, and then tell us what you're taking away from it and what you're going to do as a result of it. So Winter, I'll pop that in here as well for you.
Yeah, we'll put that in. You're getting a lot of love for the information that's shared. People are saying it's just been awesome, so many insights. And so we'd love it if you're watching this on the replay to keep the conversations going. Elliot's a very active member in the Connection Hub and on Facebook. So just tag him, tag us, ask any questions. Even if this is a year down the line or so when you're watching this replay, we're still available to help you and direct you in the right place for you. Thanks for giving an hour of your time and for pushing my buttons, Elliot. I'll see you probably on some sort of exercise program soon.
And on that note, I'm just going to play this. See you all. Have a great week.